And everybody at home watching live and everything for us. Introduction of myself real quick for you and everything. My name is David Michael Jordan Gansberry. That's what will be on the ballot, and I'm proud of that. Also, I've been working at our local health system as the security coordinator for the last 17 years. During that process, I became the de-escalation instructor for the whole entire health system. I teach all of our nurses, our behavioral health aides, and also security and de-escalation. Proud to say that over that time, we've been TASER certified for 13 years and we have 0 deployments in our health system. We learn to talk to people, to get to know people. I get to see people on their worst day ever when they want to kill me and when they want to kill themselves. But with passion, communication, and understanding, I'm able to help bridge that gap and be a go-to between them and the doctor to be able to get them the help they need. This will work great for helping with our.
Just as a follow-up, you heard him fade out because his minute was up, and the mics do that automatically. This happened during the mayor's forum the other night, and some people were concerned about that, but it just happens. And so when it goes silent, it goes silent. Your minute is up. Okay? Next.
Good evening. My name is Austin Ball. I've lived in Norman since 2002. I'm originally from Elk City out in western Oklahoma. I come from a family of farmers, ranchers, school teachers, and oil field workers. So I know a little bit about hard work and what it takes to get by in this state. What I think is more important than who I was is who I am now, though. I'm a Christian, I'm a father, and for the last 2 years, I've proudly served as our Ward 1 city councilman. I've brought forth initiatives to help our homeless. We've done some amazing things in here in Norman. With your support, I'd like to continue to do those. And I think that's enough about me.
Thank you. We are now ready for the questions, and the candidates were given one question to consider, and we will begin with that question before proceeding to the questions from the audience. As you visit with the citizens of Norman during this campaign, what concerns do you hear most frequently? Do you agree with these concerns, and what do you believe is the most immediate issue facing the city of Norman? And we'll start with...
Well, the number one thing I hear as I'm out knocking on doors is actually a sense of relief and a sense of hope. Because a lot of voters, they see that our country, from the top anyway, is finally listening and finally returning some sense of normalcy to this country. And I think that makes a lot of people happy and very hopeful. But then they see what's going on here in Norman, and they know that there's issues here that they are very worried about, such as crime, such as homelessness. I've heard some about the TIF. I've heard some about the entertainment district. I hear a little bit about the OTA and the Pike, Turnpike. But overall, they're worried about being able to pay their bills. They're worried about their kids being able to walk through the park and walk to school in a safe manner and not have to worry about their safety. And I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit more, but we've accomplished a lot of those things. We finally started getting some funding back for our police department the last councils took away. We opened Crimson Flats, the largest affordable housing development in this city. We are making headway.
Yes, like most on this panel and everything like that tonight, homelessness, police, and people stealing our voices for an arena or not letting us vote on it, and everything's been big. Police for me and everything like that, I have graduated the police academy for the citizens and serve on their CPAN volunteer group and everything, also to help out with police during their training. And the big thing with them is they just need to get fully staffed. They have a high standard of training and everything like that, but getting them fully staffed would help great. Second to that is homelessness. It's great that we have some affordable housing that was just mentioned and everything like that, but we're also days away from kicking out every person out of the OU Motel with no plan, nowhere for them to go and stuff like that. So I think we could look at that rather than giving it, letting OU build another high-rise student housing there. If we really cared about the homeless, we'd kind of start there.
Questions that address these very issues that you mentioned, but I'm going to start one that you never mentioned in all of your discussions. If that's a trick question, yeah, here we go. All right, do you support the city's role in the development of public transportation? And we'll go start with, let's start with Cindy Tusillo.
definitely needed in this town and everything, especially with some of the things that we're facing with the elderly. Talked to several, even at my work and everything like that, that they rely on Uber to go everywhere that they go. And that can be pricey after a while and everything if you're going across town. But more importantly, what I want to see happen and everything is, as a person that truly does care about the homeless and wants to help the homeless as much as possible and everything, I find it disheartening that a person in crisis at the Salvation Army would have to take 3 buses, getting on and off in a proper manner, just to get across town to a hospital and everything like that. So I'd like to see us try to improve that for the betterment of people getting treatment that is much needed in this town.
Austin Ball?
Well, lucky for us, we have amazing charities here, such as many churches. If somebody's in crisis, call 988. If it's a true crisis, we can get you to help. We have organizations like Norman Caravans. They're more than happy to help our homeless and anybody in crisis get to where they need to go. But as far as public transportation, I have fully supported public transportation. My father strictly utilizes me and our public transportation system. When I came on, there was many more bus routes over on Biloxi and Beaumont, but our previous council and our planning department decided that people could walk a little bit further, and that's an inconvenience. And I've been trying to do everything I can to get those stops back, to get actual bus stops that people can sit under, because on the east side, it is a bit shabby. But one thing we did do, we voted on a new system through Embark. It's like a ride share. It's almost like Uber, but it costs $2. For $2, a van will pick you up anywhere in Norman, but it has to be after a certain time. It has to be from 6 to, you want to come?
All right, next question. Would you support a public vote to increase the public safety sales tax to cover SROs in all schools, hire more firefighters, more police? We'll start with Bree. David Gansberry.
Yes, I would also be for a vote of the people and everything, and always respect us all having our voices and everything like that. That being said, though, also, I would like to see, before that was presented and everything, a restructure of the agreement on who pays how much percentage to the city, based to the school, based to the police officers and everything like that, and also a way to account for the overtime cost that's currently out of hand with it and everything.
Austin Ball.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see. Kimberly just asked, please, that the audience please not react to anything that the candidates say or show bias towards the candidate. We are here to discuss the issues and for you to gain information about the candidates and to talk about the issues here in Norman. And we prefer that you not make this a political debate. Thank you. Public sales, okay. Next question. In planning for the city's future, how much, if at all, should the university's future plans be considered? Kimberly, we'll start with you.
Yes, as far as the university, I feel like any business deal with the city and OU has to be give and take, meaning that every time OU wants something great, we shouldn't just have to jump in and help pay for it. When we need something, the university should be there offering to help us also, maybe helping us with the cost of the homelessness issue and everything like that, helping us build those bigger roads and everything like that also and everything. So if OU could come to a table with the true partnership in mind, then I think the city needs to listen.
Austin?
Oh, we should absolutely partner with OU and consider what they're doing for our future. Just this last year, we had the largest incoming freshman class in OU history, something like 10 to 15,000 more students. That's 10 to 15,000 more people paying sales tax, more people that we have to make sure the roads are working for, that can travel on our public transportation. So everything that they do, it directly affects this city, good or bad. And so we should partner with them. We should do everything we can to partner with them and to work with them, because let's be honest, how many people do you know that work at OU? Well, we act like OU is this outside entity. No, OU is a resident of this city. They are a partner of this city. And just like any resident or any neighbor or any partner, you got to work with them. You're not going to like everything they do, but if you want a nice neighborhood, if you want a beautiful city, then you have to work with them. And I'm all for it. Oh, absolutely want to provide more affordable housing. Like I mentioned, Crimson Flats, something that we voted for. We got money from the U.S. government during the COVID relief, so was able to utilize that for, like I say, Crimson Flats, the largest affordable housing development here in Norman since Vicksburg. And if you've always lived here in Norman, you probably remember when Vicksburg opened. So I also want to touch on OU Motel. OU Motel is not affordable housing. OU Motel is a private business that had cheap rooms. And if you want the government to come in and tell you how to run your business, who you can sell your business to, what you can do with your business, that's one reason I ran, because this council already did that. Back during COVID, when you couldn't even cut a hair if you was a barber, where I couldn't show a car in my dealership because of COVID. Try selling a car when you can't show a car. So, just to finish up real quick, I will never vote to spend your tax dollars on a low barrier shelter that doesn't require ID.
Yes, as a guy that grew up on public assistance pretty much his whole life, if it didn't come out of a yellow box or whatever, I probably didn't get to eat it or anything. I understand affordable housing needs and the great thing that they serve for our community, especially the elderly, as they start getting just a certain percentage from Social Security and everything like that, and still needing to have a living and everything. I thank Holman over there and everything, and the council and everything, for passing for that affordable housing to be starting to be built over there on Imhoff and everything, right in my backyard and everything like that. I really think it's going to bring a lot to that community over there. We just had a wooded area there that really wasn't doing much other than a little creek, but now it's going to have some homes over there and everything to help out. The next thing would be great is that Imhoff possibly get some street lights, since how we haven't had any since the tornado on Imhoff right there. That'd be great too.
So, the current arena TIF puts our general fund at risk for 25 years. Do you think this is an acceptable risk to our other city needs? And we're going to start with Austin.
This TIF does not put our general fund at risk. The way this TIF is set up is the only single time anyone in this city will pay a single penny towards that TIF is if you actually go and shop there after it's developed and after it's built. Before that, not a single person in this room will pay a penny. Not a single person in my ward will pay a penny unless it's after it's already built and they choose to go shop there. There's been so much misinformation on this and so many lies. Them coming out and just telling you that it's going to raise your taxes, no, it's not. Them coming out and saying it's going to take money away from your police and fire, well, guess what? The public safety funds, the public safety tax, it's not included in the TIF. So every penny that they make still goes to public safety. It still goes to our fire. It still goes to our parks. It still goes to our schools. There's just a portion that's going to pay for the infrastructure out there. You know how many roads they have to put in? You know how much sewers, developments, all these things that are required that in some places the city builds them themselves. But we are helping them out with the infrastructure.
David Gansberry?
Yes, thank you. As a father to 4 special needs kids that I adopted and everything, one was nonverbal and everything, because that alone, only way I can answer anything about the arena is I want my voice heard. I fought for 10 years for my son's voice, and I'm willing to fight for everybody in Ward 1's voice and everything like that. So other than that, if it don't go to a vote of the people, not for it.
Sandra?
TIFs are just one of many amazing ways that we can help attract businesses to Norman. I think TIFs can be a good thing. Some people up here think it's okay to pay for streetlights and road maintenance on campus, but not on here just because of who owns the land. I want to circle back on what we talked about a second ago, the cannibalization. Any new business that opens here is going to cannibalize from an old business. But you know what? If you're the best tax attorney, they're going to come back to you. If you make the best hamburger, they're going to come back to you. And we like to say that OU, everybody wants to pretend OU is not a part of this community. They absolutely are. 15,000 new students this year alone. Where do you think they're shopping at? Where do you think their tax dollars go? We want to talk about how this is going to get paid for. You know what the population is expected to grow here in Norman in the next 25 years? 25 to 40,000 people. So where are they going to go? Where are they going to live? They're going to go when they're shopping in the newest district. They're not cannibalizing from
Yes, when it comes to TIF, what I would like to see and everything, if I was on council, is to get with some of our major groups that we've already have established within our Norman municipalities and everything, and that's get with AIM Norman and with Norman Forward 2, things like that, and see where TIF could be utilized for the best benefit of all residents of Norman.
Yeah,
Yes, I really love our development center that we have here on this campus and everything of the city council and everything. I'd like to see that grow as an extension of resources for small businesses. Basically have somebody in there that might be able to talk them through how to get a proper loan for proper payments and everything. Somebody else might be able to come there talking about how to get a local resource person and everything that can ship it cheaper for them and things like that. Start bringing them together as their own little community and everything of owners and give them greater ways to make money, thus greater ways to pay employees to work there.
Austin?
Well, how do you support a small business? You give them the tools they need to thrive, not just survive. You make sure their businesses are safe. You make sure that we don't allow the homeless to camp out in their awnings, to defecate in front of their businesses, to sell drugs in front of their businesses. Look at downtown, the Play Place. There's veterinarians down there that I get emails from on a daily basis saying we need help because the homeless, they're making our staff feel unsafe, they're making our customers feel unsafe, and they're destroying the reason that we came here, and that was to be a part of a beautiful, thriving community. You allow businesses to do what they do best. Nobody knows how to run your business like you do, so you don't need somebody like my opponent here telling you how much you have to pay your employees when you can barely afford to hire one person, but you have to hire.
Before we have to vacate the building. For a variety of reasons, many of our citizens have expressed a distrust of the city and its leadership. How can the council and city leaders regain trust? And we'll start with, Bree.
That there's just something's off with council and everything like that. And one of the big things I've tried to do to help with, my part of it, being able to come prepared and everything, I serve our community as a mediator for a court system so that I'm used to bringing people together and everything like that and helping them solve their own problem and everything for them and stuff. I'm de-escalator for the health system and everything like that, like I've already said, helping people in that aspect and everything also. That being said, I do not think council should be posting things on the internet, showing other councils members in a bad perspective. It's kind of like putting your family business out there and everything like that. And I think if we could maybe get that, it'd help with what the public's reception of us are as council people.
Austin?
Well, I think everything we should do should be public on camera. I wish our executive sessions could. Because I know a little bit something about this city and the way they try to come after people and attack people. We've seen it in previous elections. We've seen it. The bureaucracy here can be rough. You look at our shelter. Well, we do some things that are good. Well, we hired a city auditor. That was an amazing thing we did. And what did she do? She came in here. She investigated our shelter systems. And what did she find? She found 17 violations, safety violations, security violations, and what it amounted to the misspending of hundreds of thousands of your taxpayer dollars. That's what we do. We don't do things like we have an upcoming, we're talking about a TIF for Griffin, for those that didn't know that. And they're trying to sneak a shelter on there. They're trying to sneak a shelter somewhere over there. But do you know about that? No, you don't. And when I bring that to your attention, I guess that's not being compassionate, or I don't know what that is.
Yes, first and foremost, to all my Ward 1 people out there watching and everything, thank you very much for spending your time with us tonight. To my kids, it's probably getting close to thinking about bedtime. But other than that, we have another opponent named Drew Hooper that was in the race also and will be on the ballot. And so for him and everything, I'll say, check out his social media. He approached me and we made a commercial and everything on his social media where he basically gave me his support and everything during that commercial. It's kind of funny and everything. Plays on our basketball names and stuff like that. Other than that, I want everybody in Ward 1, please, to remember, go look up when the arena vote happened, and you'll know that my opponent basically asked you to vote for me. He said point blank, vote for my opponent if you don't like what I just did. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Austin Ball.
Just for the record, I'm not asking you to vote for my opponent. We've seen what his ideas are up here, but I don't want to use this time. I want to use this time to thank the League of Women Voters for having us up here. We have some amazing, amazing candidates up here. You know enough about me, so I want to take just this last few seconds to tell you about a group that I'm a part of. It includes 3 of these amazing ladies up here with me, as well as our mayor. We meet at least once a month, and since the election's a lot closer, we've been meeting a whole lot more than that. But we meet at a church. We meet together, we talk together, and we pray together. And one thing that we each did is we promised that we would put God at the very center of our campaigns and in the center of our lives. And so when you see us out there door knocking, yeah, we're there to tell you about ourselves, and we're there to tell you, we're there to get your vote. But ultimately, each one of us, we care about you more than anything else. And so if you need a prayer, that's our mission. It's to go out there and pray for you and to minister to people, because what we need is a godly city.
Participants and our audience. This forum has been an effort to inform the public about important issues in the election, which will be on Tuesday, February the 11th. Thank you for coming tonight.